Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kirsten. Welcome if you guys are new. Today's video is going to be all about this Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. So this is a new palette, I believe, to the market. I just got it in the mail yesterday. It is huge and it is beautiful, and I'm going to show you guys how I got this look today, as well as show you some swatches. So just a little bit about the palette. This is a indie brand and the palette retails for $54, which seems like a lot, but it really is. The quality, as well as it's an indie brand, I think they're typically a little bit more expensive, and the pan sizes are huge. So I will show you some comparisons between these and some popular palettes in a minute. But yeah, this palette, it packs a punch, and I'm just going to show you guys throughout a tutorial, so hopefully you guys can see how it works. But let's go ahead and jump into some swatches, and then we will get on to the tutorial part of this. So the palette is laid out like the shimmer and then the matte, except for this row is matte and then shimmer. I'm going to swatch them like shimmer, matte, shimmer, matte, shimmer, matte. I hope that's okay with you guys. I just think it will look better when you swatch it that way. Yeah, so the first one is called Lavender Sky. I also usually don't do live swatches, so bear with me if some of these don't look that great. The next one is La La Land. Should probably do it this way. Next up is Peekaboo and Queen of the Clouds. This one is a little bit more pastel than the others. It's a little bit lighter, but I will just show you a second layer of this one. They can build up very well. Here is Peach for the Stars and Twinkle Twinkle. Again, this one needs to be built up. This is a second layer. Next up we have Daydream and Pink Rain. Here is Too High for this and Magic Mint. And lastly, we have Rise and Shine, and It's So Fluffy. So here are all the swatches. Hopefully you can see them pretty well. Unless I stated that I was doing a second layer, this is just one layer of each shade, but I did build up the blue and the orange. All right, so now that we have done the swatches and you guys can see how they swatch, let's go ahead and jump into the look so that you can see how they perform on the eyes. All right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. The lighting's not the best. We're having a very gloomy day, and it's just gonna have to be the way that it is because I want to film this video. So here's the palette. It's huge. So let me grab a couple of palettes to compare them with it for you, because I mean, this is huge. All right, I grabbed some palettes that I think are pretty popular sizes. So first up, this is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. Hopefully this is helpful for you to see the size difference. Next up is the Persona Identity 1 palette. So this is giant. This is the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette, which, by the way, come on, it's already rubbed off and I've only had it for a couple months. I figured she would join us. I actually already started to film this video, and then my husband needed me to run an errand with him, so I had to take off the little bit that I had done on one eye. So this is a first impressions. I put 3 shades on and then had to go. But this is it compared to the Going Coconuts palette. And lastly, here's the Stigma Enchanted palette. I wanted to just show you guys this kind of format, the long rectangular one. It's almost just as long, but a little less than double the height. So hopefully that helps you guys to see the comparisons of some popular palettes. Hey, don't look at me like that. Don't you look at me like that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this palette. So I did mention that I started a look and then I had to stop, but nonetheless, it'll still be a first impressions because I didn't get to complete a look. So let's take this off. So nice. So yes, this palette does have a gigantic mirror on top. So it's really nice. And now there's a train going by. Here's the palette, you guys. It is so so pretty. I love it. So I am going to use an eyeshadow base, but not a glitter glue, so hopefully that's okay with you guys. This is the eyeshadow base that I always use. This is the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. I'm going to use the shade Light, and I'm just going to set the lids with this first. Especially with pastel shades, I want to know that I'm canceling out the veins in my eyes, because I'm not going to be pulling the color up all the way to the brow. So this just kind of helps with that, but I'm not going to set it down with powder or anything. We're just going to roll right into the colors. I'm gravitating mostly towards the pink and blue shades. Those are like my favorite pastel eyeshadows. However, when I swatched this palette yesterday, I really loved the shimmery purple and the green. So I'm going to try and kind of work in purple, blue, pink, and green, those kind of families. I am least attracted to the yellow and the orange. It's just like my preferences don't really lean that way. Definitely a cool toned lover. So we're just gonna roll with that. Another day I'll use the other shades, but for now, that's what we're gonna go for. So I'm going to be like hopping around brushes. I'll try and tell you everyone that I use. I also have this little color switch thing from Shop Miss A that I'm just going to use to kind of clean some pigment off the brush. So I'm going to first start off with Pink Rain. What I'm thinking about doing is like a pink to purple to blue kind of gradient with matte shades, and then kind of match those with shimmers on the lids. And then I might use the green and purple, maybe the green like on the lower lash line or something, or in the inner corner. I'm not really sure yet, but we're just gonna kind of see how it goes. But that's where we're gonna start out. I'm just gonna start off with this Spectrum KJH number 11 brush. It's just a pretty fluffy, I'm kind of gonna consider it a crease brush, with Pink Rain, which is the matte pink shade here. So this brand is cruelty free and vegan, and I did want to mention that on their ingredients, mica is listed here. That is actually the first ingredient listed. So there are some shades as well that say they're not intended for the immediate eye area. They're not, I guess, FDA approved. I don't really know like what the approval is, but they're not approved basically. But I'm assuming it's mostly just because they might stain the lid. I'm not really too worried about that. With these pastel shades, I feel like you kind of have to go pretty heavy with the pigment. These are so pigmented. Like I said, again, I kind of started this look already, and I just used the pink, purple, and blue matte shades, and they were super pigmented. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in with La La Land now, which is the matte purple shade here. I'm gonna put that right next to this. I'm doing the eyes first because I'm assuming there's gonna be some fallout, especially since I'm not going to use a glitter glue. So in between every color, I'm just swirling my brush around in this, but I'm using the same brush for all of the matte shades. I'm going to go ahead and go into Queen of the Clouds, which is the matte blue shade, and put that on the inner part of the crease. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of obsessed with that In a Trance palette from ColourPop, but I have so much makeup from ColourPop, and so I really want to venture out and try new brands, and I just like the idea of trying new brands, and my collection is pretty small, so I don't want to own so many products from one brand. So something like this, where just these shades alone that I have on really remind me of that, yet they don't have like that pressed glitter shade in there or anything. I'm just really happy with this color story, honestly. And I think I've mentioned in a previous video that if this one had, I think in my wishlist video, I think that if this palette had come out around the same time, or if I had known about this and the Chi Chi palette at the same time, this is more like what I was looking for, because I don't need as many options as are in the Chi Chi palette, but I can see how both of them are nice to have. And specifically, I love the blue shades in that palette and the shimmery green. And I feel like, also, I'm just like going over all of these twice, again, just kind of washing my brush off in between. But I do really love the blue shades in there. They're a little bit more of a gray tone than what's in here, so I am still happy that I have both of these palettes. Right off the bat, these are a lot more pigmented than that Chi Chi palette. That is the only pastel palette that I own, so it's really the only thing I can compare this to. All right, next I'm going to use the Spectrum KJH number 14 brush. It is this like kind of flat shader brush that has a pointed edge. I'm just going to kind of match the shimmer shades with the matte shade. So first I'm going to go into Pika Blue, which is the shimmery blue shade. I just want to kind of try it on a brush first. I'm not going to wet it or anything. I just want to see how it applies because these swatched really well yesterday. Okay, I have a feeling they're going to be the ones you want to use with your finger. Yeah, so it's very subtle. It's there, but I do want to kind of build them up today. So there's definitely a lot more pigment with your finger. Yeah, that's what I was wanting. So I'm just going to go ahead and use Lavender Sky here underneath the purple and Daydream underneath the pink that's in the crease. Just again, I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to use 3 different fingers to kind of blend them together so that when I lay this purple shade down, I can then go in again with the blue and then lay down more purple. I just find that's the easiest way to do it. And now going in with Daydream. So I do want to mention, I talked about this on my Instagram a little bit, but if any of my uploads are kind of sporadic or not on that kind of Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule I was working on, I'm doing the best that I can. I've been having a lot of migraines and I'm trying to get a hold on those, but like right now I have one and it's gotten a little bit better today, but the left side of my head is just in so much pain. So the light is actually really hurting it right now. I just wanted to address that in an actual video versus just on Instagram because I know not all of you guys follow me on there, but I do always have it linked below in the description box if you're interested. I had already posted pictures of this, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that on here because I know that my schedule's been a little bit weird, but I am trying to keep up with that 3 video a week schedule. So there's barely any fallout. I hope you guys can see like just a little bit here with the pink, and other than that, there is none. And this is super pretty. So I'm just gonna use a makeup wipe and clean up the fallout right here, and then make the other eye match, and then I'll be back. All right, we've got the other eye looking the same. I just want to mention that I've only been doing this eye for about 3 minutes, maybe 4. So it's super quick, and I feel like these shadows just blend themselves out, which never, in my opinion, happens with colors like this. And I didn't have to like build them up. Like you guys saw what I did to this eye, and now this one looks the same. And I just, oh my gosh, like I'm really blown away with their formula, truly. Like it seemed a little bit crazy to spend $54 on this palette, but I really off the bat like think it's worth it. And they sold out the first day. I can see why. If their formula is anything like this in their other palettes, I can definitely see why this one sold out so quickly. And then they restocked it a week later, and I'm pretty sure that one sold out again. So I think it's sold out right now is what I'm getting at, but keep your eye out because I've heard that they restock pretty regularly and that they're really good at that. But I don't think you guys can see on camera like truly how good this looks, but in person it is just, it's just really nice. Like I'm super impressed by this. There wasn't a lot of fallout either, and the shades, there's essentially 2 purple, 2 blue, 2 pink, you get the idea. And the shimmer and the matte just really correspond and match each other very well. So if you wanted like a beautiful monochromatic pastel look, it would be so simple for you to just throw this pink shade everywhere and then throw the shimmer pink shade on the lid, and it would be amazing. Something that I really want to try with any of these shades, really, I'm thinking maybe the purple is to do an all matte look, like even all over the lid, and just put the shimmer shade on the inner corner. I just feel like this palette just has a lot of options, even though it's a super colorful like pastel palette. I typically find the most complicated looks involve color, but this one, I just look at it and I just feel like immediately inspired, but I don't have to be like super creative. I don't know if this is making any sense, but I just feel like this is a really well done, colorful palette that tells you what to do with it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I really like it. And I feel like they did a super good job picking all of their shades. My dog likes to sleep upside down. So they both do that. We call it roaching. They're crazy. Greyhounds do that a lot. I know other dogs do too, but I just know like in the greyhound community or whatever, it's just called roaching, and they do it all the time. It's so cute. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face off camera. and then we can finish up the lower lashes. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the face off camera. So I'll be right back. All right, I did my face makeup, so really quickly, I will just walk you through all of that. So for primer, I did use a little bit of this Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury, as well as the Catrice Fresh It Up primer. I used like this one on my cheekbones and then this one everywhere else, but I kind of blend them together, so hopefully that makes sense. For foundation, I used the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I have this in the shade 002 Porcelain Beige. I did use my NARS Creamy Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have this in Vanilla, I believe. Yeah, Light 2 Vanilla. I used a cream bronzer from Fenty. This is in the shade 02 Butter Biscuit, as well as my Flower Beauty Blush Balm in Bubbly. For powder, I just used the powder from the Lip Bar Quad and Go Off. It's just this one here, just to set underneath the eyes and anywhere that was kind of shiny. For highlight, I dipped into this Revolution X Soph palette, and I used mostly the pink, but a little bit of this one up here for the highlight. And then I did use a little bit of this bronzer. This is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, I think. I don't know. For brows, I used my typical Milani Weekend Brow. I forgot to grab that one. And then this Essence Clear Brow Gel. And my lip combo is KKW Beauty in, it's the lip liner in Nude 0, as well as the ColourPop Lippy Sticks in Oh Snap. And that kind of catches us up to where we're at now. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the lower lash line. And I also wanted to mention that out of the whole eye look on the top lashes, I only used one brush. So I just think that's kind of cool. I feel like usually with like more in-depth or colorful looks, I end up using like 10 brushes. I have to blend a lot, and it takes me like almost sometimes up to an hour depending on what it is. And the fact that that took about 3 minutes per eye, I'm just really happy about that, if you can't tell. So anyways, I am going to pick a different brush just for the lower lash line, I think. Or actually, no, I'm going to use the same brush just because I want to know that I did the whole look just with one. So I'm just going to wipe off the back of the brush. And I'm going to dip into Magic Mint, which is the matte green shade. And in order to use the same brush, I'm just going to pinch it so that it's flatter. And I'm just going to put this on the lower lash line. I was kind of thinking about this look earlier today, and I was just thinking that if I was trying to figure out how I could use like the most colors without just doing like a straight up rainbow look, because that's not really like something that I would want to wear every day, I guess. I'm not saying I'm gonna wear a like this look every day. I kind of look like cotton candy, but these are just the ones I gravitate towards, and I feel like the most comfortable, I guess, wearing just a few colorful shades. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of use more, and I thought that using the green on the lower lash line would be really pretty. And I'm going to use the shimmery green on the inner corner in just a second to kind of tie in the green to the rest of the look. So I am going to just use my pinky in this shimmery green shade. It's like a mint green. And this one's called Too High for this. I'm just going to like barely put that on the inner corner. And then I'm going to wipe that brush off one more time and just kind of blend around the shimmery green shade on the top and the bottom, just to blend it in. I feel like this turned out really nice, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some mascara on, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, that's going to complete this look. So a really quick rundown of everything. I love it. I haven't felt this excited about a nude palette in a while, and I might not seem super excited, but I do have a really bad headache right now, so bear with me. I promise, like, I really am liking this. I am so excited that I got this instead of getting the ColourPop one, even though this is a lot more expensive. It is $54 US, and the ColourPop one is like $12, but the quality of this just speaks for itself. I mean, seriously, you guys, I have never felt this high quality of shadows. I really don't think I have. I mean, they're just stunning, and they're so well formulated. The packaging is really nice. At first I was kind of like, I don't really know, like I wish it was smaller. I'm that kind of person, just like things more compact, I guess, especially in colorful shades. But no, these are incredible. And for the price, I am glad that it is a bigger palette with larger pans, so I'm super happy about that. When I swatched all of these on my arm yesterday, they came off pretty well. There wasn't any staining, but I will try to remember to leave a note down below if there was staining on my eyes, but I don't think that's going to be an issue, especially since I did prime them. I think it should be fine. Yeah, I definitely think this is worth the money. If you're interested in it, I would definitely purchase it whenever it comes back in stock. With that being said, you guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me, especially with this palette. I have a feeling it's going to be making some appearances later on. So let me know down below what you guys want to see, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.